Okay, so I want to talk about some Bitcoin liquidations that we had in the last few hours earlier today. And then from there, we're going to jump into Mars stock. But this is super important because now we're not just seeing the structure unfold, but we are also in a really, really good test right now. Like, for sure, in my opinion, I believe that overnight, so within the next like 12 hours, sometime by Monday, we will know how healthy the current bottom is. Well, we had the bottom right here, but then we had a massive like dip. You can either categorize it as like a scam wick or liquidation wick or whatever. But we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about Mara stock as well. So we're gonna look at these heat maps, right? I haven't shown this on the channel for a while, but like I just opened it up. So this is as of this moment as recording. This is the liquidations that it's showing. And remember, everything I'm gonna say, excuse me, and this video is just my own personal opinion. It's just what I'm looking at, and I like to share it with you guys. So please do your own due diligence. But this is very exciting actually because every time a chart, crypto or stock, it doesn't matter. Every time it does, excuse me, I was eating Takis. Every time it does something that's unexpected, it's an opportunity to learn, and that's what gets me super excited. Like if the price always does what's obvious, what makes sense, then there's nothing to learn. We're just watching the price do what's expected. But every time it has a break of structure, unexpected move, things are weird because we never had any news. There wasn't any news. That's just a liquidation wick, right? We see these happen multiple times, like every year on Bitcoin. Like we've seen them happen um so many times, and we just saw another one today. And I was watching it very closely, and the moment it happened, I went on Discord and I kind of like talked about it a little bit as well. But the thing is, it liquidated quite a bit of longs. It came down. So far, it's holding support, and look at this, 115.6k. Like that's up here. That's up here at the top of the value gap. I'm gonna talk more about that value gap in a moment as well. But we have that. This is all just on the Binance, BTC, USDT, perpetual. It's the most popular one, so it's gonna have the most activity. And then we have another one here, same thing, 15.6. So we're gonna take a look at that. So 15.6 on the 24-hour, 48-hour, 15.8. So about the same. We don't really have any floors, but we just crushed the floor. I think it's too early for it to want to create any, which is interesting too, because this is happening like a few hours after that dip. So not seeing any floors created on the heat map could be bullish. Um, I think it means that there's not really a whole lot of like short interest in the short term right now. Like, that could be a good thing, indicating the possibility that this is just a liquidation scam wick to get rid of those leveraged longs. And I don't really want to talk about leveraged longs too much when it comes to liquidations because I'm still studying that. This one right here on the 1 week just liquidated this last bit right here, 127.2 million at 111.1k. Like that's super interesting. So like the reason I don't really want to talk about it too much is because I'm still studying it. There's a belief, and I think it's the fact that I need to research more that too much leveraged um spot longs are actually not healthy for Bitcoin. So seeing them get liquidated so quickly is actually better and could potentially be a bullish indicator. I could be wrong. If I'm sure a lot of you probably know more about that than I do. So if you do, like, please, like, let me know in the comments because I want to research that more. But right now, basically, this is actually very good, not just because it gives us an opportunity to watch the price and learn how it reacts to this, but also it gives us, it came down lower into the overlapping orange support area that I've talked about so many times. Um, and it even broke. It broke. This is what gets me really excited. It broke the point 0.5 retracement at 111.4k, which is amazing because I was very disappointed that we had a nice rally to new all-time high before breaking, excuse me, the previous point 0.5 retracement at 110.8k. It failed to reach it it was fine because it was in an accumulation area. It was, within also the overlapping supportive extension. So that's good enough to rally. But having it come down would have been better. Now what we have here is we didn't trade in it much. Like the hourly candle didn't close in it or anything. But it still broke the point 0.5, which is great. It's really good. And breaking that point 0.5 briefly also over exhausted the R side to the downside, to the discounted side. It didn't reach the value gap, but it bounced off of it pretty much. So like I'm not gonna be too picky about it just because we saw a very nice support like back here in, what is that, the 10th of July. It bounced off of it very, very well before trending higher. um I'm not at all expecting the prices to pop up like that. This was already in motion. What we have right now is it's not in motion. Like, we're still technically in a downtrend within this wave down, right? We're still going lower. We just made a new lower low technically. Um, so there's no reason to be overly optimistic, but it did bounce off of that value gap very, very well. Although, until we have bullish confirmation, which I'm going to go over again what that looks like there's no reason to be overly optimistic. That's why I opened up that IBIT trade last week as a foundation. And if we continue to stay discounted and revisit prices below the point 0.5 retracement at 111.4K, if we break below that again, then I would actually like to increase the IBIT trade, increase the foundation for this overall swing trade, because capturing the amount of value below 112K is amazing in my opinion. And once we get bullish confirmation, then that's when I want to back it up with some BitU, right? That's the approach I want to have. I think that's how I'm going to be approaching Bitcoin a lot, especially in bull markets. Um, Accumulating foundation trade with like IBIT, for example, build the equity on it, build it up that way, and then once bullish confirmation out of support is confirmed, and I'm gonna show you guys what that looks like in a moment, what I'm looking for, then backing it up with the leveraged BitU, right? I think that's a really great way of approaching it, and it seems a lot better than averaging into a support area um, with just BitU. I think it's good. As of right now, though, um, I'm gonna, before I show you guys the bullish confirmation. I mean, simple, right? This tiny swing high before we broke down. I mean, technically, as you can see, we're over resistance. So simple retracement, we're over resistance. So that's very bullish as well to like recover out of it and hit those heat map liquidations. um Basically we're gonna like say a 116.7K, right? Is that what it was? Or 100, no, 115.7. So that's strong resistance. So actually I want to, and I haven't done this. I'm gonna do it right now in front of you guys. But let's just say there's strong resistance at 115.7, because that's what the heat map is showing, right? Like an average in that area. So here it is. There it is right there. Okay. At the top of the value gap, coincidentally. So if we are a bit more conservative with this resistance, instead of just following the pull down, let's take a look at the bigger, like the since the overall swing high right here, where the hype began to die off. As you can see, it's still well over that. So, I mean, we still have, now in this case, we're in resistance. We can push up a little bit higher. But I'm very much interested in seeing if the price continues to pump up higher, close to 115.8K or 114.8K. Then I'm, excuse me, I'm very much interested in seeing what the RSI is going to be at, right? That I'm very, very excited to look at that. So I'm going to take up. Geez, I'm not going to talk to you before video again. But I want to see where the RSI is at as it approaches the 115.7K area, and then following up with a retracement. Guys, you gotta drink some water. But basically, simple. I'm gonna just use this as of right now. I expect to continue to pull this higher as the price trends higher. But as of right now, if we see weakness, well, simple short-term support area to keep an eye on. But I mean, until we have bullish confirmation, I'll show you guys. It's very much possible we can keep this downtrend going and potentially actually get a few candles closed. Um, you know, below 112k, maybe around 110, so we can really overlap this value gap very nicely. But as of right now, yeah, we're pushing up higher, and bullish confirmation will be simple, right? In this case, bullish confirmation, and I'm not gonna be like too aggressive with it, but just realistic enough. Here's the swing high, and I've said this many times before, so I'm not looking for the price to max out this area before looking for bullish confirmation, because the price entering the blue overall resistance from swing high, um, all the way down to that swing low, and I'm gonna update it to reflect the current low because we haven't broken that swing high, so it's fair to lower this. It's realistic. So what I'm looking for is a break higher over this swing high. The moment it's over the swing high, that's bullish confirmation. As the price attempts to reach or climb higher to try to break this swing high right here and go further into the blue and potentially hit this value gap averaging like 120k um short-term resistance, in that case, I'm gonna keep following the price higher, higher, higher. Any weakness should hold within the retracement support as we follow it higher until it breaks over the swing high right here. In that case, bullish confirmation, any retracement after that will just hold a higher low, um, realistically, right? And also, like, it's not like the bull market's over. We just haven't gotten confirmation of the bear market being the bull market being over, especially with such like growing anticipation for a rate cut, like hype behind that. It's just not realistic just from that to think that the bull market's over just yet. Like just alone that anticipation for rate cuts, like it doesn't make sense, right? So yeah, and especially a lot of these dips and even this scam wick, like it just couldn't break overall support like at 108k, and we can definitely go down to 108k. um Support allows it to come down into that area, even 107k. So it's like until we have bullish confirmation, which at this point, just because, or the price went up into the blue before, and this is a resistance area, so I reacted to it perfectly. um Once we break over this swing high, then any weakness after that it should just be a higher low, regardless of what the retracement is at the time. So yeah, that's basically what I'm looking at. I want to add more to IBIT if we can have the price trend below 112k. Like the further down it goes, the better. I want to add more to IBIT, and then once we get bullish confirmation, start loading up on BitU on the side as well. But that's my approach, right? And now for Mara, now there's not like a whole lot to talk about Mara, but if Bitcoin continues to hold discounted, at least with the current structures, and that's why like I could do this, right? Like I can zoom in, and I can be like, okay, well, we have a resistance right here. All right, descending resistance. We got to break over that. That's realistic, right? There's a ton of ways of looking at this. You can look at fib levels, resistance, trend lines, all that. It doesn't really matter too much right now because there's so much like um influence from the macro media right now that I would rather, at least right now, I would rather just focus on my fib structures because they tell me where volume, or at least where strength is, where weakness is. Like there's a lot of strength within the red, right? This is a support area. So to me, it's telling me there's a lot of strength right here. As we trended up higher, and I've said this even before the price pumped, I kept saying, this blue area is the resistance. We can see the price top out within this area at any moment and potentially come down lower to try to create a lower low, which would also be a lower low from here, this swing low, right? A bigger picture 3-wave correction. And that's exactly what happened. So like if the fibs are telling me, you know, where there's strength and where there's weakness, then why am I going to rely on hype, and why would I rely on like a whole lot of other things when I could keep it simple and understand where there's value in the chart and where there's not value based on that. They've been working out really great for a very long time. Now for Mara stock, if Bitcoin, I mean, even if it pumps higher, this stock does not correlate with Bitcoin completely. And I explained in previous videos so many reasons why, and that's why we're seeing in the bigger picture lower highs every bull cycle. There's just a lot of different cash flow elements that give it a completely separate value, and that's why it doesn't follow Bitcoin completely. I'll probably talk about it later this week and give more details, but I don't want to get into that right now. I've explained this so many times, but as of right now, regardless of what Bitcoin does, um, there's two ways of looking at this, and I explained this very well in yesterday's video. So if you guys are curious, just check it out and go forward all the way to the Mars stock, and I start talking about it. But and I explained how this is so similar to a 2024 setup as well. So if you guys are curious, just go to yesterday's video. There's a lot of detail on it, and it would also give you a better understanding of what I'm about to say right now as well. But basically, as we continue this sideways channel, right, we're waiting for a break of structure that sustains itself. So as of right now, just like we've been doing for a while, um, any any break over resistance in blue is a simple opportunity to accumulate shorts, puts, whatever. Any break below support is an opportunity to accumulate longs or calls or whatever. Point 0.5 retracement, $15.68, right? So at the moment, technically, we have early signs that it could. It absolutely could, and pay close attention to this though. It absolutely could. As you can see, it went up over it, and now we're holding resistance as support. Okay, but check this out. The pump afterwards, second hour before market close, last Friday, it failed to even reach that tiny swing high. Instead, there's weakness. That alone, and the RSI is also showing some potential weakness coming up soon, and Bitcoin is, well, uh, short term weak right now, at least, right? We're waiting for it to do its thing. So in that case, the plan that we've been looking at for a while stays intact. It's continuing to trade this sideways channel. And just like in 2024, it starts off narrow and it starts to widen as volume enters the stock more. We start seeing more wild swings, all with this channel in here. It's all within the overall bigger picture red support area, right? And again, it's very similar to the one here, um, where we found support and went up into resistance, take profit area. So everything's the same until we have a breakout structure upwards and we have short-term resistance here. The idea is that we can go over $20 once again, and it'll be a good idea to start locking in profit. At least I think so, because there's gonna be a lot of weakness and quick dips the moment we go over $20. So like, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy, in my opinion. But if that happens, that'll be great. And then when it comes to a breakout structure to the downward, we have support right here in yellow. This is going to be $13.45. Basically, if the price breaks below this and actually closes below it, then the uptrend that we've been looking at for months now, the uptrend we've been taking advantage of, is over. And instead, you got to make sure you have your SLs ready in case it happens, because then after that, we will be looking at, and I gave you guys an estimate in a previous video, but once it happens, if it happens, I will give you guys. I won't have an estimate anymore. It'll actually be an official extension for support at lower prices, for really attractive opportunities if the uptrend is invalidated. But as of right now, we're holding overall support in the red between 1430 and 1740, basically. So until, as we continue to hold the red support area and we continue to trade alongside this sideways channel with the 0.5 retracement actually being like really much perfect, and it's working really nicely with the RSI as of right now, again, and I've been saying this ahead of time, you know, some really good short interest, some good long interest, and the idea is to continue trading as the price jumps over and under the $15.68 level. Continuing to trade that, and it's been working out really nicely. I mean, I've mentioned it before these wider swings happened. Support, resistance, and then we'll just continue to take advantage of it with SLs. Of course, yeah, you focus on your risk management. Because if we have a break of structure, it can happen very quickly. So you want to make sure you have your SLs. But as of right now, still overall, because we are in overall support, I'm still bullish on Mara. But short term, I'm bearish because again, it the w- obviously, right now it looks like the price is about to fall. We're holding this channel very nicely. We're in resistance. The RSI is getting ready to cross the moving average within it. And the 120 moving average is now aligning almost perfectly with a point 0.5 retracement. So we're going to, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing Mars stock dance around that 120 for a while. So we can still have potential, a lot of time left to continue to take advantage of these super simple sideways support and resistant trades right here, right? So everything's super simple on it. Hopefully this made sense. Yeah, hopefully this made sense. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.